Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mental Toughness and Body Show. I'm here with my lifelong friend and health strategist, most trusted person I have in the health, wellness, and fitness space, Sandra Fitzgerald. Welcome to the call, Sandra.
Oh, hello, hello. How are you?
I am great. Thanks. Thanks for joining us. Now, today, Sandra and I have this is the second call that we've done, and so we've had a lot going on in the last month, and a big part of what we've been doing together is collaborating with the 1% Edge, which is our new magazine, and that's just come out on Monday this week. So this week, we are in Women's Health Week, which is really, really important. And I think one of the things that I've been looking for a while is to who can I find that I trust to be a regular guest on this show to collaborate with me in this space as well. And of course, Sandra is the perfect choice for that because we studied together 18 years ago. Just found some photos uh,
Oh, my
back to
goodness.
2007, just coincidentally in the last
Well, one of
doing
us aged.
doing the blog. We still look, I reckon, we look good now.
Identical.
I don't, well, I was looking at those photos. I don't think we look that different.
Oh,
Your
just,
hair color's different, but
yeah, I'm a little bit, yeah. Yeah, actually, my haircut's pretty much the same too. Maybe I need to talk to my stylist.
we still look good. And well, and that's a nice segue into both of our approaches. And it's not like we got together and said, we must live our lifestyles like this. It's just that we do, and we're very like-minded in terms of healthy, sustainable, nothing ridiculous, things that we can do in a time and space that works for us. So
Yes, 100%.
that's right. And so we then got talking about, okay, why don't we do this, like to kind of kick it off with today, like a reset series. And I think one of the things that's also been missing from this platform, I won't say missing, maybe it's something I would like to add into it, is that powerful female voice around health and wellness, because I can talk about most of the female clients that I work with, but I'm not a woman to talk about my experiences, even though I've got a lot of feminine energy. I, I, I can't cross over to that side. So that is why we're here.
There are drugs for that these days, Robbie, though. If it's.
Yeah, I do know that. I prefer I like both energies, but I prefer my masculine energy. But you know, I'm bringing you along for the more of the female power.
Perfect just as you are.
Yeah, thank you. As are you. All right. So today's topic is really called the Sunday Reset Mindset. And for those that are long-term listeners, know that Sunday is my favorite day of the week. But before we get into that, why don't we start with, I guess, why resetting matters? Because I know as much as the world, well, you and I are obviously around the same age. So we've, I suppose, been raised in a household that was still in the 60s, but late 60s and then 70s, but like that 50s, 60s mindset of how you should be a man and woman in the home it's becoming very different to what it is
Mhm.
now. Bottom line is life gets busy, the healthy habits that we want to have slip, and women carry I don't care, even today, most women carry more load than men do in the household, whether it's for the kids, the bills, the chores, the whatever. So let's talk about why resetting matters.
Well, isn't that a wonderful Christmas? I think there is a transition going on, which is a beautiful thing to see. I think there's a lot of confusion for people in their roles. And I think that confusion is exhausting. I think there's so much weight to the choices that we make, daily choices, even the simpler choices, carry so much more weight than what they used to. And I think that's just exhausting. I think it's really important that we give our minds as well as our bodies a moment to just turn off, if you like, and just reset and reach back. Go back to what the basics, the simpler things that make you content and joyful. It doesn't have to be flamboyant. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to, come off all the bells and whistles per se, because as I once said, you know, the simpler things. I think there's a lot to be said for the simpler things in life. I think that's really important.
We do. I mean, we do really complicate things, I think, and there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of pressure to live a certain way, and then you jump on social media and say, "Oh, Sandra's doing this. Sandra just got a new car. I better go get a new car because I want to be like Sandra." And then you get a new outfit or I don't know, a design or something. And it's like, "Oh, I should do that too, but mine needs to be bigger because I want to be this or that." And so there is a lot of pressure around the way that we live and how often you should
There's
go.
even exhaustion in you know, having downtime gardening. You know, there's this, what are the Joneses doing? You know, what does next door's garden looks like? What is, you know, there is so much. I don't know. I think we've been, is it manufactured, unconsciously groomed? I don't know. We have this, so much of this competitiveness in us now, even on an unconscious level. That one of the loveliest things that happened to me earlier in the year is I went away and I didn't have Wi-Fi unless I was at the hotel where we were staying. My phone was a camera, and it was the most relaxing holiday I think I've had in a very long time. And I came back home and I reflected on that. And I'm, you know, I'm a week back, and I'm getting up in the morning. The first thing I do is I reach for
Better
my,
check. Yeah.
yeah, I've got to see, oh, who's emailed me, who's messaged me, who's, you know, what's on my phone, what's on my phone. And it's just this constant, I was exhausted. I wake back and I'm like, gee, I need another holiday. This is just exhausting. And then it dawned on me that the most beautiful thing about my holiday was that I was able to fully disconnect.
Yeah.
I think that is something that perhaps we need to sort of reflect on a little bit. How do we fully disconnect? You know, turn the brain off. You know, yeah.
I mean, we don't have chips in our head, but we effectively do because it's never, not usually within arm's reach of, like further than arm's reach away from me, because I use it so much as a, like it's a detailed computer, it's a camera, it's a video, all that kind of stuff. I use it for my business constantly. I'm driven to always like do something, do that next thing. But there are times, because I am so active in what it is that I do, where I'll have like on the weekend, say like on a Sunday, or maybe I've got a little bit more time, and it's like I just want to switch it off. I
It's
don't.
more than that to me, Robbie. To be honest, I think it's even more than that. Even thinking about the time that you do want to turn off. It's like, oh, what's the weather like? Oh, I just grab my phone and check the app.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, rather than go, yeah,
well,
it's fine.
that's right. And then, I mean, let's face it, it's in your hand again. The app's there, and there's this little notification
Yeah,
pinging
yeah,
at you. Even if you don't open that social media or answer that email, or even if you don't, the
yeah,
seed's
it'll still
already been
flash.
planted.
Yeah,
It's here. It's in your
yeah.
face. So it's already been planted. You know, we live in this instant gratification
An instant
society.
response. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think we've forgotten what it's like to be bored. I think we've forgotten what it's like to feel bored, and that there is so much healthy, so much good comes from this lesser activity, you know, this quieter
Yeah.
brain time, if you like, you know?
Well, I think so, like you said before, some of the most simple things, the most beautiful things in life, I think, are things that don't cost you any money. And they're normally things that happen in nature. So like a beautiful sunrise. I love to get up in the morning and before the
Yeah.
sun rises, and you see we get some beautiful sunrises here. They change from, they're normally like I take photos of them and there's no filter. And people will think there's a filter because it's like it's bright orange, or it's like pink or purple, and it just changes more and more and more.
Yeah. It's
And
magnificent, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, or it's a sunset, or it's just out walking and you're seeing people out in their gardens because it's
So your choice here, see, this is where it already comes into it. Your choice here is, oh my goodness, that blinding sun is killing me, or oh my goodness, what a display. Isn't it magnificent?
Mhm.
It's about that reactive element, that impatience almost that comes with it. We can sort of think, you know what, yeah, sure, in the car, the sun's setting, it is inconvenient, but my goodness, what a magnificent show as well. What a wonderful opportunity just to let it all soak in. But we've got this spitfire reaction that everything has to be so what's going on. But I think we're maybe missing some of the beauty in life.
I think I want to move on to the next part, but I think what we want people to take away here, it's not about starting your life over or doing anything like that. It's really about the word reset is exactly that. Like you think about your phone or device. Oh, it's not working properly. Like I was somewhere the other day and I was in the middle of the city and it was just SOS on the phone. I'm like, it's 5G. How can I be SOS in the middle of the city? So, okay, I'll reset the phone, switch it off, switch it back on again, boom, and it all starts to work in
And
that.
how was your anxiety level feeling in all of these? How were you feeling anxious?
Frustrated because I was after Google Maps and I needed to go somewhere and I didn't know how to get there. So I was frustrated.
Lost at a roundabout. I'm stuck at a roundabout.
But this is like us. We don't need to start over. It's just about resetting something in our mind to say, okay, I am where I'm at. I've like reached the peak of what I can handle right now. I need to either reset where I am in the moment to like de-stress, lower the levels so that I'm like, just like you just did there. It's like a deep breath out, give yourself some space. It doesn't have to be weeks or anything like that. It could just be 10 or 15 minutes, but just to take this time out. So I want to talk about Sundays. I really love Sundays. Now, this doesn't often work for people if their Sunday is a really intense work day for them. But let me paint a picture. Sunday for me is the only day of the week that I don't have client facing time. And so I still work on Sundays, but it's more about strategy and assessing the week that was, setting the week up ahead. It's my only day that I get to sleep in where I don't have an alarm on and I just allow my body to wake up. And I'll get up, I'll hydrate, and then I'll do my strength workouts, my favorite workout of the week again. I don't have to watch the clock to do it. And then I'll go for a walk. And so I'm giving back to myself first thing in the morning. So that's why Sunday. So if I'm talking Sunday here, but it may be a different day for you.
Metaphorical Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Tell me what it is, whether it's Sunday, for I know you do some shift work as well on Sunday, you could be working, but let's just say it's a day
Yeah.
or a part of a day. How important for you to find that taking the time out to reset, to say, do you know what, I'm going to, it's kind of a bridge between last week and then the next week and having that bit of a moment to decompress and everything. How important?
I find it's priceless. It's priceless to me, and it is something I value and I protect. Actually, it's something I really protect. I think we can all put our hand up in saying, how many times have we sort of said, oh, what day is it again? Or, you're just going to lose track of life. But for me to set this time aside is something I protect quite greatly. It's really important because it allows me to just slow down everything and take time to smell the roses, as it were.
So tell us what you do. What's your process?
I think getting out is really important. I'm like you, there's no alarm on. And I don't feel guilty about it. Okay. I don't feel guilty about it. If I sleep in until 9 a.m., then fantastic. I know. I'm not saying I do, but if I do, I don't feel guilty about it. If I sleep in, I don't feel guilty. If I roll over in bed and grab a book and have a read, I stay in bed, I don't feel guilty about it. If I don't, I will get outside, I'll get some air, I'll go for a walk. I'm not hard on myself. If I want when I have that time, that's my treat time as well. So if I want to, have a coffee and a treat with my coffee, that's my special go-to time. Yes, I have visited Loon a couple of times. But I think the important thing for me is there's no guilt associated to it. I give myself permission to do this, and it's indulgent and it feels decadent. And oh my goodness, it's such a treat that I'm giving
Yeah.
myself, half a
Yeah.
day to really not think about laundry and just,
Yeah.
enjoy my croissants.
I think there's something in that too. There's a few points that you said, but I think what's important in this reset is you must have a part of this reset which is by yourself.
Yeah,
You
for me,
you
yes,
need time for yourself because otherwise there's too much going on around you. I
yeah,
think the other part you mentioned there, sorry, I'll just jump in with this, is
yeah.
about being in nature. Like on the weekends, I like work half a day on Saturday with client facing time, and then I'll do the household stuff, meal prep, all that kind of thing, have some downtime, and then for me, a fun time at night is to um,
Let us have a Robbie. What is it?
get into bed early and sit up with my iPad and do some work or some personal growth work or something like that. But I will do between 20 to 30,000 steps on the weekend because I just love to go out for a couple of walks because I'm inside a lot. I go out for a walk every day, but it's like, wow, the weather is, it's not today, a good example, but I like to just get out and be in nature. And I always do personal growth work when I'm out there. And that to me is a really big part of giving back to me. There's something about being in nature, having breeze on your face, sun about, and yeah, I
It's
think
also it's interesting because you said about weather. Now, I don't like being cold. I don't. I makes me cranky sometimes, to be honest. So it makes me a little bit cranky. But then I met someone many years ago who loved the snow,
yeah,
loved skiing, loved the snow, loved everything about it. And he used to look out the window and the big black rolling clouds. It'd be like
yeah,
10-degree maximum. It'd be a horrible day, and he would be so excited. He would love it. He would be looking out, thinking, "Oh yeah, that's it, bring it on," because
that's
he'd be
right.
going to the slopes on the weekend. So again, even when you are looking out the window, it's about perspective, and it's about your hot take and it all. Is it raining? Yeah, well, it is, but it's also
Get an
refreshing.
umbrella.
Get an umbrella. It's also refreshing. And sometimes when you've been inside with all the climate control and that stuffy recycle there, it's nice to actually get outside and just feel the chill on your skin. Like I said, sometimes it makes me cranky too, but sometimes
But it's
it's a
the
really nice reset.
Yeah, it is. And I think also the other thing I use with Sunday, because I was going to mention about like meal prepping, and Sunday's the day where I just use Apple Notes on my phone and I look at what are all the things that I did through the week because there's like little hollow bullet points and you click them when they're done and they tick them and I go through and I say, oh yeah, I've done quite a lot this week. This week it's like quite a long list. I quickly review it, delete it because it's a new week now. And now, what are the challenges that I'm going to put for? I come from a mindset of if I achieved this by this time next week, what would make me proud?
So this would be interesting, wouldn't it? Now, this would be so interesting to me if people noted down all the positive things that happened to them or that they achieved or contributed towards, if they just noted it down in their notes every time something happened and just save that for their Sunday or their Sunday, and
Yeah.
just sit down and have a look at it. I wonder how many people would be blown away by how much you actually impact. You know what I mean? I think I think that's a good challenge actually.
Well, yeah, and we could have that for our October positive edition
Should we write that down?
of the
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes.
1% edge. Um,
But don't
yeah,
you think? I think we accomplish so much, and I think we do so much that we just don't realize how much we're doing. I think our lives are just so conditioned to be busy that if we're not flat out and if we're not burning ourselves out by the end of the week, then we don't feel like we've actually achieved anything. We haven't done enough.
The problem I find with most people, though, is that they're busy for the sake of being busy, and that's
Yeah.
focusing on what I call the transactional things of life rather than the transformational. So it's like, let's just face it, we could all be very busy. Oh, the phone is just, well, literally, the phone just lit up. There's a text message which is in Chinese or Japanese. I have no idea what that is. And now I could jump in there. I could go to Messenger. I think you sent me like 6 messages this morning. I already responded to those, but I could look at WhatsApp. I could look at Messenger. I could look at email. There is so much stuff in there, and that's like, oh, okay, now
It's
that's
all
done. Oh, I better
distraction.
post something on social media. All right, I better do that. Oh, what am I going to post? Well, let me create that. Let me post that. Oh, there's an email. I go back and do that. Oh, I've got to go do some meal prepping. Oh, the groceries have just been delivered. I better go get those. Oh, I've got to go do I
Yeah,
go for a walk. I'll go do that. Oh, Emily wants me. Oh, I just better go over there and do that. Gets to the end of the day. So, oh,
yeah.
how was your day? Oh, it's so busy. What did you do?
Oh, I didn't stop all day, but I didn't stop all
It
day.
was all transactional stuff though.
Yeah.
So this is where I like to take the Sunday and say, all right, what is a step with, like, I've got 5 areas of my life that I'm focusing on for like and there's Emily just emailing me. Dad, I just sold one of those, a little side
The
hustle
other thing,
business.
before you put your list out, because I am interested in hearing what you're very analytical. So this is something I like to take note of. I learned from you. But the other thing I want to sort of point out here is when you are darting around like that, you're getting that instant gratification, that quick fire
Yeah, the
response.
serotonin and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but what happens is your brain composition starts to become accustomed to it.
Hmm.
So when our dopamine rises, then it starts to drop, and your body's like looking around for it. So you'll answer that email, so your dopamine comes back, and then it comes down, and you tend to M, and then it goes up again, and then social media, and I get a like, and
Yeah, yeah. Let me just scroll on TikTok to get a hit.
yeah. So your brain is doing this in the background, and that is an exhaust because we don't have enough of this, and we got lots of this. It's
Yeah.
exhausting. This
Yeah.
is where what creates that burnout. This is what did you do all day? Oh, I don't know. But man, I'm exhausted.
Can't remember. Just so busy. And you are.
You
But
are genuinely exhausted.
the problem is that I've found is that people are not focusing on being focused. And I think about, I'm here. I was back here. I'm here. I'm going to move to here. Now it's up to me to determine what that time frame is. And so I identify those different 5 areas. And let's say it's to do with Liv's legacy work, for instance. I don't work on that constantly because it's very draining. And I'll think, all right, well, what's one thing this week I can do with Liv's legacy to progress that? What could I do? I have personal growth things that I'll have every day. What are those things that I'm going to work on today to help me become a better man, a better coach, a better dad, a better, you know, whatever.
Human. Mm.
Um, and I make sure that there are things by like this week, so by tomorrow when I do this review, a big goal for me this week was to launch my spring marketing campaign for my business. And so I did that. And so great. It's like, okay, so where I was Sunday last week, if I can get that in place and I can pick up some clients this week through that, then that's been successful for that particular one thing. So that's helped growing my business. What are the
Yeah.
other things that I want to do that are not just because there's always transactional things, like you said before, where you got to do the cleaning, you got to do the washing, you got to do the cooking and all that kind of stuff. But what are those things that are going to move me to that next point? And that's why I include those in Sunday, because that's the day where I've got some more bandwidth to be able to think about these things and to stay focused on remaining focused on the transformational things, because I hate mediocrity. I hate staying where I am. I just always want to go. Some weeks you can step forward a bit further, some weeks you can't. It just depends on what's going on.
You know what I'm loving? And I want you to summarize. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Mhm.
I, so get ready. What I'm loving is what I'm hearing from you is that your time is your currency. Your energy is
Yep.
your currency, and you're
Yep.
choosing where to spend your currency.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if you
absolutely.
could, summarize your top, even three priorities, five, maybe if you got them off the top of your head, but if you were to summarize your top priorities of where you are going to spend that currency, where would it be?
But my number one is always my health and wellness, because that's my number one priority in life. Because I look at it this way. If my health and wellness is zero, I'm dead. So if it's the reverse, the opposite of that, then I have more energy to do whatever it is that I want. And so that's my number one. So now these things are so conditioned in me because like I've been training for 37 years, even though I've changed the way that I do certain things. I don't have to say, okay, this week I want to make sure that I'm getting my, your proverbial 10,000 steps in. I want to make sure that I'm doing my 3 strength sessions. I want to make sure that I'm eating 5 to 6 highly nutritious meals full of protein, blah, blah, blah. I want to make sure that I'm eating my, my supplements every day, that I'm looking after my gut health, that I'm getting enough sleep, et cetera, et cetera. They're things that I get people when I start coaching them to focus on because they're not habits. They're so ingrained in me and they just come as part of who I am.
Yeah.
But there might be, depending on where I am with my training, for instance, it might be, oh, I want to hit, so my leg workout tomorrow, I think I did what I did, 210 kilos last week. I need to do at least 215 tomorrow, 220 if I'm feeling good by a minimum of 6 repetitions. I know that already. It means I've got to do a lot of warm-up sets to get there, like 7 warm-up sets to get there. And I know my legs are going to hurt afterwards, but I got to do it
And
safely.
please, Robbie's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, 37 years. Don't just rush out and try and hit a
Please.
number for the sake of it. But so that might be something that I set in that realm. If
Yeah.
I've gotten out of a routine because of whether it's travel or like if I've done like the most recent travel up with the Prime Minister in Canberra, and I was only out for a day, but I was dehydrated, I was undernourished because you're just going from one commitment to the next to the next. And does anyone offer you any water? No. That's like, I have a drink of
But
water?
can I have a wine? Would you like a wine? Would you like wine?
So in that week, it might be, all right, I need to make sure that I'm focusing on hydration again. I'm getting plenty of vegetables in because when I travel, I don't get access to the foods that I want. So that might be one of them. The next one is going to be around most likely my business growth. Like, what am I doing to grow the business? And within that, it's adding value to the existing clients. It might be a specific client that I need to work with more, provide more support to. There might be creating a bunch of new programs for people. It might be the new marketing campaign that I spoke about, whatever it is, but that's around business. And then there'll be another one which is most likely around, because that's also going to be associated with wealth creation, and it's another area of importance for me. The next one's going to be around my personal growth, and that's also going to involve like personal relationships and that kind of stuff as well, and also my relationship with them as well. So it will be, there might be some key people that I want to connect with this week. Certain now that Em doesn't live at home, I have to be more conscious of like out of sight, out of mind. To some extent, I have to make a conscious effort to stay in contact with her because it's not her natural thing to just say, I need to reach out to you, Dad.
Now, this is interesting. This is an interesting point to me, is the art or the skill of nurturing relationships,
Mhm.
friendships. Um, is it a dying art? Are we forgetting?
Absolutely.
There are a lot of very popular lonely people out there in the world, you know, and the fact that you make it a point, you're actually making it a point to reach out to people is interesting. So how do you go about that? What do you do with that?
Well, I was going to say it's very easy to just send somebody a message, isn't it? And one of the
Uh,
things, well, like with you and me, for instance, I don't know whether you're conscious of this. Now I'm putting you right on the spot, but you text very differently to the way you talk.
no, I'm not conscious of it, do I?
Yeah.
Oh
And
dear.
so sometimes I can be like, okay, uh, maybe she's having a hard day.
What's what's between the lines on this one? You know,
So,
what's going
so coming
on
back
here?
to your question though, what's really important, because this is also relevant in business, and I realize that I do things that, so I talk about my health, for instance. I want to be in the top 1% of health for my age. And I know that this is your mindset as well, because with that, you're just more of anything and everything to you first, because you must come first before anyone else. But when it comes to like my personal growth, I'm growing, my personal growth has grown more this year than it probably has in the last 5 years combined. And that's by working strategically with AI, not blindly, but working strategically with it to improve myself. And what I realize is that I want to live in the top 1% of every aspect of my life, whether it's, wealth creation, personal relationships, and so forth. And you are exactly right, because I do have a focus every week of making sure that I connect with the people that are important to me,
Mhm.
right? And that's clients as well. Like most people that work with clients, they don't care about what's going on, through the week or
Well,
between.
life's busy, eh?
That's
How do I have time to do that, right?
That's right. That's right. So I could go through every single client and I could tell you what's going on in their life right now. Because some I see twice a week, some I see 3 times a week, some I see once a week. But I know what's going on in their life because I'm really curious about wanting to know, and I care. Like, it's authentic. I genuinely want to know what's going on in someone's life.
Mm.
Um, and that's really important. Like for you, like I want to make sure you're evolving your career and everything, and I want to make sure that you're okay. So I will always check on you, think about you on a daily basis. Oh, I wonder how she's going today, and then I see when you disappear, and it's like, oh no, something's wrong with Sandra.
We insert an arrow that says "sweet guy" right here. I just pointed out you, Megan.
But what I realize in doing all of that is that most people, that old saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And
Mhm.
and but like I have such genuine care for people in general, and those that are closest to me, they just get the cherry on top as well. But it comes from a genuine place, and I realize that that's really foreign to a lot of people.
It is. It
They
is.
don't know how to accept it.
But they also don't know how to give it as much anymore, I think. I think
I'll just send her a text.
indeed, absolutely. Or it's not even necessarily a text message. I'll just send them,
An emoji.
emoji. My goodness, I don't know what half of them mean anymore. All these meanings. I mean, I might send the wrong one. I don't know. So when you are setting yourself up with your reconnecting with people, how do you actually do it? Are you doing it on a paper level? Are you doing it through an email or through a text, or are you making the effort to actually talk with people or see people?
Yeah.
What works best for
I
you?
try to meet them where they're at. So it depends. So like I've got a guy, for instance, Jason's his name, probably trained with me back in my old place. So probably 2010, something like that. Him and I can just call each other whenever. I'll always
Mm.
take his call, because I'm like, if he's calling me, there's something up, or he's checking in. Like there's just like genuine love, genuine care there. Great guy, very successful, and both of us have had to navigate, a whole bunch of different stuff in our life, and we're just very, very like-minded. I would always call him.
See, now
Uh,
haven't you hit on something golden right there? It's always, if he calls you, there's something going on.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's more to what I think of. What we forget that sometimes. So
Yeah, yeah,
we see the
that's right.
repercussions of behavior, but we don't spend the time to sit back and saying, hang on a minute, why is this person
Yeah,
behaving like that?
yeah, yeah.
It's out of character.
Like if you called me, I would always answer it. It wouldn't matter what time, where I was, whatever. Because I was like, okay, you're important, so I need to take this now. Even if I'm with clients or whatever, if I saw it was you, I would just take the call, right?
And vice versa, for what it's
Yeah.
worth.
And so there's those people that I would just call. If
Yeah.
it is, I say it's a client that I'm, yeah, just genuinely interested in seeing how they're doing. This is really curious. I often play with people to see how are they going to respond, and it's it's like they're reading the text saying, "How are you going? When are you coming back as a client?" That's what their interpretation is,
Mhm.
where all I'm doing is saying, hey, you just popped into my mind. I'm just wondering how your back is, or how your knee is, or something like that. I'd love to hear how you're doing. No,
Oh.
and that's coming from a genuine place. not because I'm trying to reach out and see if you want to come back as a client. That's up to you. People come back if they want. I had a guy just come back 2 weeks ago after 7 years. He said, "You're the only person I've ever got results with." So
Oh, congratulations.
so he moved away, came back, and he tried it on his own. He can't do it. Uh, so I think there's those sorts of people as well. So I'll use like text. Some people I'll use Messenger to connect, and some people I'll use email. I think more and more now people don't take your phone call.
No, no.
And so it's kind of trying to understand what people are at. Now, you said before about the energy. I'm very, very conscious of where I put my energy because I've spent so much time in having it stolen, if you like. It's not time bandits, it's more an energy bandit.
Sounds like a movie. Is that a movie?
Yeah, I think it is when I said that out loud, like BMX bandits. Uh,
Yeah.
and so I don't want to spend time with anyone that is going to drain me. And
Ah.
I will only spend time with people that either match my
Now,
energy
I'm going to interrupt. Oh,
or
you've just
exceed it.
frozen on me for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is different from spending time with what I call the what's in it for me people,
Mm,
isn't it? So there's people that you will effortlessly give time and energy to because it's selfless and you want to do that. You're not doing this because you want something in return,
that's
right?
right.
So can't I interrupted.
Oh,
Continue.
that's okay. Yeah. Well, I mean that, like I had to. Well, I'd say had to. That was the wrong phrasing. Um, so Charlotte O'Brien, her parents Matt and Kelly, they put on a gala event for Charlotte, who unfortunately lost her life at age 12, and we connected through Live Story in 60 Minutes. And they ran an event, and I went up there to support them. I wasn't going for it to be anything in it for me, but what was really important for me in that whole event was if I could just spend a minute or two with both of them to say how proud I was of them and how proud Charlotte would be and what a great event you put on and all of that, then that was mission accomplished. My objective was to support them at
How
a
was it received?
really, really well, really well. I did get to spend some time with them. It was really busy. It was like 700 odd people there.
Mm.
And I found them early on in the night and they said, "Oh, so thank you so much for coming." And we just got to spend I don't know, maybe 5 minutes together, just having a bit of a chat in amongst all the mayhem. So it was really beautiful. So there's nothing in that for me, but what was important is to show up as just a good man sometimes or a good woman,
Very
uh,
special.
to do that. And yeah, I have those things that I do in life, but then there are those when it comes to say friendships or business stuff. Obviously, if I have clients that can be toxic, and
Mm.
it's trying to beat that out of them in some ways. But some people just are the way that they are, and I know that I'm helping them. That's right. But I'm not going to spend time with them personally because
Mm.
that's not where I don't mean this arrogantly. They're not at my level where uh,
They're
of my
expensive.
energy.
It's if you're talking about your energy as currency again, when you deal with people who aren't willing to meet you,
Yeah,
then that becomes expensive, doesn't it?
yeah,
It costs you a lot.
yeah. And it
And
comes back to my personal growth. It's like I want to spend time with people that are going to help grow me, or we
yeah,
grow together.
yeah, I think something that's really, I think it's really courageous. I'm probably it's a shame that probably that has come to mind, but it is, I think it's really hard to do these things and set yourself up in this way and not feel like you're being selfish about it as well. You know what I mean? We're so accustomed to having to give pieces of ourselves away um, without consequence. Do you know what I mean? That like people are entitled to pieces of ourselves, that we
Mm.
do it without thinking. So the fact that you are setting yourself up and you're choosing where to spend your currency, your energy, needs to be able to be done without guilt.
I think this is much harder for women too,
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
because women just give themselves so selfishly to selflessly
Selflessly. Hang on, what? Hang on, what?
to everyone. And that's a part of that's chemical, with oxytocin. Women have more than men. Men are just naturally more selfish.
Oh,
I can say that because I am one. But I'm not like most men, I suppose. I'm very loving and caring towards what everybody needs. But I think generally speaking, the woman would be the last person to put them. When I start working with them, they put themselves last.
I
That's-
have said, look, in all fairness, and I'm not, it's not a competition, but there has, and I'm sure you've heard me say it too. Everything I do for a very long time had an element of guilt associated to it. Absolutely. If I chose to work, I felt guilty for going to work because that meant I was leaving my children behind. If I chose my children, then I would feel guilty because I don't feel like I'm financially contributing because I'm not working. If I went out to a movie at night time, I felt guilty because my husband works all day and now he's got to sit home with the children. Everything I did was about putting me right down at the bottom of the ladder and feeling guilty about doing it all the time. And this is where I think this Sunday ritual comes back into it, and you prioritizing what's valuable and what is worth spending your currency on and how you're going to apply it is so important. It's such a wonderful tool.
I think this is a nice sort of hook into, or we are talking about, or also Women's Health Week this week, and I think it's important that I mean, there's a Men's Health, and do you know what? I have no idea where Men's Health Week is, but
We will find out because
what
men's health is important too.
it is. I think what's really important for women to realize is that it's absolutely 100% okay for you to focus on you and put yourself as your number one priority, because it comes back to what you do on the aeroplane. Oxygen mask goes on you first, not the kids, not your husband. It goes on you first. First rule of first aid, you come first before the person that's lying on the floor, because if you are unwell, you can't fix that person. If it's
You know,
dangerous.
I've got this image. You did it to me already. I've got this image that I'm seeing on an aeroplane and I'm putting masks on everyone around me and I have no mask on. You did it to me straight away.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you just take it off the husband and put it on yourself and just say, go find your own.
Priorities.
But we need women to realize that they are the number one priority. And so on, man. It's like we're talking about yourself here.
Yeah,
But this is Women's
you are the
Health.
one priority. Yeah.
This is a Women's Health Week. And why don't we just drill into that a little bit? Because one of the things that I get super frustrated with, I'm very passionate about women and women's health because I see so much. We do a whole podcast on this, but doctor misogyny
Oh my goodness.
around women's health issues. I see it through many of my clients. I think you and I have shared a story about it. I've seen what's happened with my daughter, and it's just wrong.
It's mind blowing.
And this is part of Women's Health Week as well, because women are made, oh no, it's just you're a woman. And it's not always a guy saying that, a male doctor, but let's yeah, let's talk about some of this.
Wow. Can I share my story?
Of
I
course.
think I've already told you my story. I remember some years ago, I went to the doctor. I was feeling poorly, hence I went to the doctor. I had been given a course of medication from another doctor previously. I wasn't convinced the medication was working for me, so I stopped taking it. So I had heard a lot about this other particular doctor in our area at the time who was the bee's knees. So I booked and I managed to get an appointment with this particular doctor. So I've gone into the car park, drove my little car, got into the car park, and there's this flashy, brand new, shiny car. Very lovely, kind you want to pat, very beautiful car. Slightly to one side of the car park, but you know, I just noted it because it was a little bit garish, but it was a beautiful brand new car. Very nice car. Walked inside, sat down, waited my hour, trying to get in to see doctor. I'm the best thing since sliced bread.
You waited an hour.
Yes, It was an hour wait. Apparently, this guy was that good. So I had my hour wait for Dr. Sliced Bread, and he's fidgeting. Like, I'm feeling poor, right? I had been on medication. Been sick for a couple of weeks. The medication I had hadn't worked. I'd stopped taking it. I've gone to see Mr. Sliced Bread over there, and he's fidgeting, like he's fidgeting in his seat, and I'm just sitting down, and he made me feel a bit uncomfortable, to be honest. And he sort of says, "Okay, what's going on?" And I start talking to him, and he does this. It's like, "Hang on, can you hang on?" He's fidgeting, and can you hang on a minute? I'm like, okay, okay. He goes, "I need to move my car." I beg your pardon? I need to go and move my car. So he's rushed he's dug through his drawer, picked up his keys, and he's taken off to move his car. And I'm sitting there. I'm laughing now, but I'm sitting there. I was gobsmacked. Gobsmacked. I've been led to believe that he's the best thing than sliced bread. He goes and moves his car. Guess which car it was? He was very pretty. We wanted to pat it. But upon saying that, he comes back. He's still flustered. He puts his beautiful keys back in his top drawer. He's still flustered and said, "Okay, now what was going on here?" kind of thing. Yeah. And I told him that I'd stopped taking my medication, and then he called me stupid. He said, "Well, that was stupid. Well, you were a bit stupid for doing that, weren't you?" And I thought, what is going on here? What is going on here? It was just mind-blowing. And now, in this day and age, I ask you, Robbie, have you ever been spoken to or gone to see a doctor that's actually happened to?
No.
It just is mind-blowing. And then the more I spoke about this, I laugh about it now because to me it's quite comical. But the more I have spoken about this to other people, other women, the more that it is not uncommon. Another woman was saying that she heard about they were doing a trial on, I think it had to do with women's health, but they didn't want women to do it because they have hormonal changes and it was going to impact on the results.
Yeah, right. Jeez.
Yeah, let that think in. Let it sink right in there for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, there is a little bit of medical misogyny going on at the moment. I think a lot of it isn't intentional, though. In all fairness, I think a lot of it isn't intentional. I think it's just something that has happened through the ages and something that we have grown accustomed to and accepting of. I think it's very exciting that technology is starting to catch up, and I think it's very exciting that women are being seen and heard, and that time is being put into the medical field now for women's health. I think that's terrific.
I say to all my clients, like, if you're listening to this and you have an issue, whatever that issue is, and if it doesn't feel right, doesn't seem right, it won't be. And you don't have to live in pain and constant pain. And I just say, just keep escalating to that next level. What's that next level? Just go see a different doctor.
Don't wait.
Go to that next point, that next point, that next point, until you get the answers. Because
sometimes, look, you know what? Women's systems are complicated. We're learning this. We know we've got very, a lot more going on internally than men do, and that's just the fact of it. And sometimes things are harder to diagnose, but that doesn't mean you take a step back and exactly what you're saying, and that you just accept it and you just wait.
Yeah.
I think we need to be okay again, and with having to push it and accepting that someone who is highly educated, because we do see people in, surgeons and doctors, and they are highly educated. These are incredibly intelligent people, but they're not impervious to error.
And they're not necessarily emotionally intelligent.
That's very true.
They're intelligent. They know the tools of the trade. They can operate on your brain and stuff, but they can have really bad bedside manners and not be 100% caring.
The active listening.
So I
Mm,
think this week in the theme of Women's Health Week, I think it's good for our listeners to think about, okay, use this week. If you're not currently doing physical types of exercise, use this week as a turning point to say, all right, well, I'm start with a walk. Just it doesn't have to even be a long walk. If you can make it to the letterbox and that's as far as you can go, go to the
yeah,
letterbox and back. Just start there, go down the street, do a couple of blocks, whatever it is, but just get more movement into your body. And then also give some thought to your mental health as well, which is where this whole concept of a reset is really important. It's like you're switching off the phone at the end of the week, switching it back on. You're doing that for your brain, saying, all right, this is what the week was. What am I not going to carry forward this week? And what am I going to challenge myself with to achieve in this coming week?
yeah, absolutely. And the beautiful thing about once you do this is that you will feel your entire body exhale.
Mm,
You will literally feel your brain will exhale, figuratively
yeah.
speaking. It does. When you allow yourself this moment to just turn off and just calm everything down, it actually is incredibly beautiful. It's a really, really lovely thing. It's a
Are
great.
we talking? Sorry, keep going.
I know, no, I stopped. You go.
I was going to say, so we are talking about Women's Health Week. It's a week, and maybe if this is reigniting something for you, but we want to get to a stage where we're doing those things that you can handle healthily on a daily basis.
Yes,
Have that point once a week where you take stock and you reset and refocus. Because I didn't always do this, but I've done it
no,
for probably a couple of years now in terms of the Sunday and the focus, like the resetting and doing all that kind of stuff. And it's helped propel me way far.
absolutely. But also think it's really important to not make excuses for yourself as well. Be responsible for your week. So if you've had a week that you aren't particularly proud of, if you had a week that you feel like perhaps you fell short, how incredibly human of you. How dare you, right? It's okay. Own that. Own it. Say it out loud. You know what? I didn't get that leg press out. I wanted to. I tried. I just didn't have it in the tank on the day. And that's okay because I'm going to reset and I'm going to give it another go next week. You know what I mean? Own your shortcomings as well as being proud of your achievements. You know, it's okay to fall short.
Yeah.
It's okay to, only be able to walk to the letterbox. Because once you start walking to the letterbox, okay, even if you do that letterbox walk once a day, every day, soon you're going to be able to walk past the letterbox,
Mm,
and what a wonderful achievement that is
mm,
because that's part of that person's journey. Imagine being able to walk to the end of the street, being able to walk to the school. If that is what is special for you, then that is something that is going to be magical for you. It doesn't have to be a marathon.
yeah.
It can be that walk, and that is truly exciting. It's a
Yeah.
win.
It is. It's progress. And I think this is one of the keys to success and happiness in life that people don't realize. It's about progress. Because if you are always staying the same in what it is that you're doing, career, relationships, financially, that it does your head in. So
It's the joy in the progress too, Rob. Yeah, it's
yeah, that's right.
finding that joy in the little things. I think we sometimes I think we need to have these massive achievements or these awards or what have you to say, yes, we did this. But you know what? I'm happy if someone changes the air freshener. It's a pie, That to me is a win. And I'll celebrate it and I'll be grateful for it and I'll thank you for it. So being able to acknowledge the little things is I mean, I say it all the time, and I think you'll hear it every time I speak. It's that kindness to yourself. Be
Yeah.
kind.
And there's not one big thing that's just made up of a big thing. The big thing's made up of so many tiny, tiny little things that you've done, the actions and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Imagine if you tried 10 times and it worked the 11th, right?
yeah, that's right. So maybe this week, if you're looking for some ideas, think about maybe it's drinking some more water, maybe it's having less alcohol, maybe it's getting some more sleep, maybe it's getting some more steps in, maybe it's less guilt.
Allowing yourself, giving
It-
yourself permission.
That's right. And not, so women are big at this too. taking stuff on that is not your responsibility to own or change.
Mm, yes, we are.
And often we want to do that, but the real growth is helping someone else. It's like teaching someone to fish rather than just catching the fish for them all the time. It's like you want to give them the skills so they can resolve their own issues.
There's a fine line between support and enable, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine line. And how many times did you take Em to school with her project in hand and see all the beautiful projects lining up against the wall, and the mums had done and the mums had done the work for them?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
How many times? My poor kids are so embarrassed.
It's like this work of art and they get an award for it. And the parents there, yes, I got an award.
And my kids are like, Mom, mine doesn't look like there. And I'm like, that's because you did it yourself.
So why don't we bring this one into a landing? I think
Yeah.
some of the key takeaways from today are consistent action. Like I want people to think beyond, oh, that's a really good idea. Don't listen to any of the other episodes I've done or these ones as part of the reset series with Sandra and think, oh yeah, that sounds really good. But then you do nothing with it. You have to take action. And the more action you take, the more you'll just get used to taking the action to the point where it just becomes you're reprogramming yourself, you're reconditioning yourself.
100%. For me, I like what you do. And I would love for people to start writing what they want to achieve down. Just, I want to try to get this. I want to try and achieve this. And then even tick it off. I heard somewhere there's a philosophy going around. Instead, you know how people have a eating regime and they write down everything they eat throughout the day. And then they look back at the end of the day and see what they consumed. The other hot take on that is write down what you are going to consume.
Yep.
And a lot of the time, you will find that writing down what you are going to consume works a lot better than
Yep.
writing down everything that you have eaten. So I love that what you were saying earlier. I'm going to do that myself this week, right? I'm going to give myself a checklist and I'm going to come in a week later and see how well I've done.
Nice work. Well, I think with that, you've got in writing it down, I think as humans, we can tend to, like there's first, second, third, gold, silver, bronze. We work in threes. You can generally remember like three things. So when I sit down on a Sunday, I might put down a dozen or more things that I want to accomplish. And yes, there's going to be maybe one, two, or three, or even more that are way bigger things that I want to accomplish. But if I don't write them down, there is no way that I can get to a week's time and say, yes, I did all those things. The weaker side of me would say, oh yeah, I did everything that I wanted to. But it's like, really? Here was what you actually said because I wrote them down. Here's what you've actually done. Oh, they don't reconcile because we'll make up an excuse as to why we did it. And if you think about any high performing person in any area of work that they do, and they will all have these very, very strict routines. And you have to write these things down. Otherwise, you'll forget. You just won't know. Life is too busy.
Yep, I love it. So you're going to write yourself a to-do list?
Mate, well, I don't like to-do lists, but mine are action lists.
Can I have it as get out of bed?
Well,
put pants on.
let's not be too flippant about that because there are certainly some people that I've worked with if they can get out of bed and put their pants on, then that's been a major achievement from where they've been manic depressive, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's meeting people where it's meeting people where they're at. And if, like we say, getting to the letterbox, and people would say, well, what are you talking about? That's stupid. If I'm working with a client that wants to lose 150 kilograms, that's like over 300 pounds, then them getting out of bed is a massive
I've
challenge.
actually worked with someone who struggled to get to the letterbox. Literally struggled. I would meet her at the studio, and after she got to a point where she could get in her car, drive to the studio, she would see how many cars were out the front, and that would be her deciding point of whether she parked.
Come in, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Because
mean, it's a
you're right.
sliding scale of what each of us can deal with. And I talking about some of these things, there's probably some small things that would really challenge me back when I was, a teenager.
Mm,
But it's
mm.
only being determined to push through these things and find the greater version of me that's enabled me.
Do you find though sometimes when you are setting out these goals for yourself, does it take pressure off doing the goals?
As in writing them down, does it ease?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, look, I think
Does it give you?
for me, it's around structure and
Yeah,
naming something. So name it and claim it kind of thing. It's like,
yeah,
okay, this is what I want to achieve. Why? And then I'll attach the why to that. So why? Why do I want to do that? Is that really
yeah.
important? Is that consistent with my values, beliefs, where I'm headed? Yeah, it is. Okay, terrific. So then I'm going to do this by this time next week. Or if it's something much bigger, I want to progress to this stage by this week. But if I don't have it down there, it won't accidentally get done.
Happen. Yeah. So what about in regards to how everyone is so busy?
Mm.
Okay. Are you slotting it in like you would slot in an appointment?
Yeah, well, that's a great question because I look at those things that I will create tomorrow and I'll say, all right, this is let's say it was the marketing campaign that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I just use Google Calendars. It's free and it works really well. I just go in there and I say, all right, Tuesdays and Thursdays are my freer day. So I'll block out a chunk of time on Tuesday. Or I've got an hour and a half time slot here. I'll do like a 90-minute power block and it's going to be on this particular one. All right, yes, I think it's going to take this long. All right, maybe I'll allow an extra hour in case it runs over. I'll put that here. What's the next thing? All right, that's going to take me this amount of time. I'll put it in the calendar so that my calendar on a full day is full from start to finish. And there might be time in there to have lunch, maybe time to spend with them, time for myself, etc. But the whole day will be blocked out. And so I've taken those goals to put them in my calendar because again, they won't just accidentally happen.
Do you know what though? For if you think about how women's brains work compared to how men's brains work, what you've actually done, and I think this is one of the reasons I think it would be so beneficial, is for my brain, I'm listening to that, what you're saying, and I'm thinking that would take so much pressure off my thinking. Because
Yeah.
men have, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a specialist, I'm just a little me, is men can compartmentalize. Okay, you open a cupboard, you deal with the cupboard, you close the cupboard, next one, you deal with that, close out. Women, we open all the damn cupboards at once and we're in and out each cupboard, we're trying to sort it all out. So thinking and having a busy structure and a busy life and a lot going on is just mentally exhausting. So for me, hearing what you do, and this is what I love about you. This is how we are very different. Is that your strength is that you are an outstanding planner. And so in my mind, I'm hearing you thinking, I love this because I know if I put this in my day, I can look at that one line and think, okay, I'm going to do this for my hour. My next hour is going to be this. Then my
Yeah.
next 2 hours is going to be this. It's a really healthy way to structure out your life. I find it calming talking about it.
One of the things that I'll often do, if I find that I've been a bit distracted, so like I think it was it was Friday, yesterday, Thursday. So I Wednesday I was a little bit distracted. I did a bunch of things, but I wasn't as productive as I wanted to be. And so I got up in the morning and said, right, I'm going to go for my walk and then I'm going to I call them 90-minute power blocks. I set the timer on the phone for 90
Mm.
minutes, and then I will work out what are the things that I'm going to get done in that 90 minutes. And I like to set myself a challenge to make it really hard. So I had 15 things that I wanted to
Of
do.
course you do.
Well,
Of course.
some of them were transactional things, but they just have to be done, like communicating with clients and all that kind of stuff. And then there's some transformational stuff. Now, I did them all bar one, which took me an extra 10 minutes when I came back to my desk. But I set the timer. Okay, I didn't do that one, but I did all these things. And it creates this hyper focus because
Yeah.
I'm physically ticking them off in my Apple Notes. Yes, done, done, done. It's like a little
And there's an end.
challenge for
There's an
myself.
ending to it. There's an
Yeah.
ending coming. Now that's something that's actually been proven that the brain can't cope with when there's no ending. Okay. So when you're lying in bed, once upon a time we would have a book, okay, and you would read your book, and you think, okay, I'm going to read to the end of this paragraph and then I'm going to
Yeah.
turn the light out and go to sleep, or I'm going to read to the end of the chapter. Your brain can see the end and the ending, and it knows it's going to turn off then. When you are doom scrolling, there is no ending, so your brain doesn't know when the ending is going to come, so it doesn't end.
Doesn't end. Yeah.
It doesn't end. So I love that you put this time limit on it. Your brain is going to say, okay, we've got our 90 minutes, and then this is going to end.
That's right. And then you go outside, do something physical. So I go for a walk, even if it's for 10 minutes.
Something fun, something you enjoy.
But something physical. So it's not like, all right, I'm going to stay at my desk and now scroll or something. You have to get up and do something physical, because 90 minutes is actually a long time to be sitting and being really hyper focused like that. So you need to let your brain reset.
Yeah.
And you can come back and do another one a bit later if you want to. But it's those types of things that I now do to just get way more things.
Love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Terrific. Well, this has been another great episode. Hope everybody, you've taken something out of this. Our next reset series, I don't know how often we're going to do them, mate, every week or 2 weeks, depends when we can catch up. And I can't remember what our topic of our next one is, but it's all part of the reset
Something
series.
nice. Positivity?
Something nice.
Nice.
Yeah, good. I can't remember. I don't have them in front of me. But it's a good one. So thank you so much, Sandra.
Thank you. Thank you, Robbie.
All right. See you next time, everyone.